हेलो दोस्तों एंड वेलकम टू द शो ऑफ बुक्स एंड थ्योरीज पॉडकास्ट। और आज का शो बहुत ही स्पेशल शो होने वाला है क्योंकि वी हैव आवर फर्स्ट फीमेल गेस्ट ऑन आवर पॉडकास्ट शो। होपफुली दैट विल बी लकी फॉर मी एंड आवर शो एज वेल। सो रिसेंटली मैंने बुक पढ़ी अनचेन माई हार्ट रिटन बाय शारिका शर्मा एंड दिस बुक इज सो नाइस एंड सो मच गिव्स यू एन इनसाइट अबाउट वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट कि आई थॉट कि व्हाई नॉट कॉल शारिका ऑन अ शो, जहाँ पे हम बात करेंगे बहुत सारी वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट के बारे में, उनकी इस ब्यूटीफुल बुक के बारे में एंड वी वुड लाइक टू रीड हर माइंड कि वो क्या सोचती हैं वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट के बारे में। सो इस शो को पूरा एंड तक देखना। थोड़ा सा इंट्रोडक्शन हम शारिका से खुद सुनेंगे उनके बारे में। वेलकम शारिका टू आवर शो ऑफ बुक्स एंड थ्योरीज। इस शो में आई जनरली से टू ऑल माई व्यूअर्स दैट आई डोंट गिव एनी रिव्यू ऑफ द बुक्स बिकॉज आई पर्सनली फील दैट every book is having something inside it and we should grab those things. So rating dena it's not a perfect thing, and your book I have read it and it's a beautiful book and along with beautiful it's an entertaining book. Usko पढ़ के ना I was getting a feel of Madhur Bhandarkar page 3 fashion all those things, but the major thing what I could grab out of from that book is about women empowerment. So we'll discuss more on that, but before that I would like you to introduce yourself to the viewers.
Okay, so the book, my full name as seen on the book is Sharika Esther Sharma, and I was inspired to write this book because I myself was always career oriented and all, and after marriage however I had 2 children back to back, and you know that's also in the book. An issue that women the characters in my book have to deal with is how to balance the family life and the work life. And after I had my first child, the work life kind of took a back seat and the family life took a front seat. So this book actually took me 8 years to write because I was grabbing 2 hours here and 1 hour there and 3 hours there. So even while writing the book, I was in the process of what most women are in the process of, you know. Some will and these days in the modern days some women will get married later because they want to put all their effort into their work, and I kind of approve of that because I really believe through the process of writing this book and seeing the lives of my friends and my own life that it's better to kind of be self-sufficient financially to a certain degree before taking the plunge into marriage. Because as you know, I mean, I don't want to sound bleak, लेकिन आज के ज़माने में जो है डिवोर्स रेट क्या है you know, ये सब होता है। और कभी क्या है कि जब बच्चे हो जाते हैं and ये सब फिर बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है to get out of a situation if you're really unhappy in it, if you don't have your own personal finances. So this is one big motivating factor, I feel.
The one thing which comes in my mind about this marriage purpose, if I'll say talk particularly, जब हम कहते हैं कि late marriages, generally people are now preferring marrying after 30, 35 and that's the age where they are giving their 100% to their career till that age, and then they are marrying and preparing for their family and everything.
Yeah.
Second thing जो पहले होता था early marriages, like I married when I was 26 years old and my wife was 25 at that time. So I feel कि वो जो एज थी हमारी 25, 26 बिल्कुल यंग एंड वी जो 30 इयर्स जो स्टार्ट होता है टिल दैट टाइम वी इंजॉयड अ लॉट इन आवर लाइफ, क्योंकि 30 के बाद व्हेन यू हैव बेबीज एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स यू स्टार्ट क्रेविंग फॉर योर फैमिली एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स, सब स्टफ हो जाता है। सो डोंट यू फील दैट कि मैरिजेस अर्ली मैरिजेस अच्छा होता है?
पता क्या, I really feel it's a catch-22 situation in everything. मतलब you choose this तो कुछ cons होते हैं, you choose that तो कुछ cons होते हैं. The pros for getting married earlier is that तुम लोग आपस में adjust कर सकते हो. You're young, you're not so set in your ways, you know. But then on the other side, you feel that that's the thing, to establish a career time लगता है. तो that's the flip side. अगर देर से शादी करोगे तो the pro of that is that you're already established somewhat in your career, या कुछ finances हैं, ठीक है, थोड़े secure हो गए हो, फिर आपस में adjust करना और बच्चा you know, to give birth and to raise children and all that also takes so much energy and so much all this. So I would say 35 से पहले कर लो तो अच्छा है, लेकिन उसके बाद भी करना हो Or agar nahi ho raha hai and you're not finding somebody that you like, then you can wait. And I have friends who've frozen their eggs. I'm a propagator of freezing eggs because by then if you make all the money and then you meet the right person, then bingo, you've hit the jackpot.
Yes. So one more thing on the personal side, like you have been born in Washington DC, then you came to India. So how this journey? What's behind this journey?
Actually, my parents met on the airplane, and why I propagate all this stuff is that they got married within 6 days. They were sitting next to each other in the airplane, and 6 days later they were married. And my mom is Dutch, and my father Punjabi. He just passed away during COVID time. Okay, so actually, because my grandparents were in America, my mother's parents, and she was flying from America, and my father had done some flying. I don't know if you're aware, he had been petroleum minister in PM Narasimha Rao's government.
What's his name?
Captain Satish Sharma.
Oh, name, we know that.
So I never mentioned it, but I'm mentioning it now because he had done some flight training there.
Okay.
And he was a passenger on the way back, and my mother was sitting next to him.
Okay.
And she's Dutch, but her parents had been living in Washington DC. My grandfather was also a writer for Life magazine, Time magazine. So when she got pregnant the second time, my brother was born first, and pregnant second time, she was very young, 20 years old, and in the summer he was born, May, and she had a lot of complications, heat she wasn't used to, the diet she wasn't used to. So it was decided the second child will be born in Washington DC with the grandparents, and when I was 6 weeks old, I came back to India. So I've actually been living here since I was 6 weeks old.
Okay. So this is an interesting story. Why you're not planning to write it? Maybe a third book can be.
Aage jaake.
How a romance.
Funny thing is, my first book was a memoir, Monkeys in My Garden, Reflections from a Life in Isolation. It was a lockdown memoir. So funnily, my first book is what usually people's last book is, a memoir. But I may maybe in the later on come up with a memoir that goes right from the beginning of my life. A lot of things have happened, pretty crazy things. But yeah, crazy things happened during the lockdowns in all of our lives.
All of our lives,
So it's like a daily journal, 90 days non-stop daily journal. Whereas like how are leaders handling it, world leaders, how are they handling it, how am I handling it, lockdown with my 2 kids.
So exactly, your book talks about women empowerment. And so what's your view about the role what women played during this COVID and lockdown? We have seen it.
I mean, since this book is about empowerment, I'm going to talk about women's empowerment. The nations that fared the best during COVID were run by females. New Zealand and Sweden and other countries. Okay, they are small countries, more manageable. And Singapore was managed well, run by a male. But that statistic really hit me. That the ones that had prime ministers and leaders as females, they fared far better. And I feel that the maternal instinct somehow had kicked in. Most of them were mothers. And when you see your own nation, if you're a good leader, it's not just that you see your own children as your children, you see the whole nation.
I think it started with in each family. I'll say women has played a very big role during COVID times. I cannot say about others, but if I talk about myself, I have not gone into COVID, neither anyone from my family. And that's the credit I'll give it to my wife, because the way she was managing everything, that whatever should comes in should be clean, sanitized. Even if I am going out for some purchasing, how I should come back and sanitize, how many times we have to wash our hands, how we have to do everything. So not only teaching to us, but to kids also. And my wife was pregnant also during COVID time. So everything was managed well, and I think that credit goes to the female of the house.
Definitely. Females generally are multitaskers, even if they don't give themselves the credit of being multitaskers. They think, oh, I'm just a housewife, or I'm just a businesswoman. No, but if you're a housewife, you're managing, it's like running a small institution.
Agreed.
Like what you're saying.
It's bigger than an institution.
Yeah, so much is involved, kitchen mein, and then ordering all the food, or going and buying all the food and taking care of everybody and making sure the house is clean and everything, running the whole show.
And teaching to husband is itself
and managing the husband also.
Okay, so your book obviously talks about women empowerment. So how that passion came into you? What sparked you to write about women empowerment?
I had female friends, that I had seen. A lot of my female friends were single, and very go-getting, career-oriented women. I used to really look up to them because I was always very, driven, and in college really focused and things like that. But marriage, something took over in my head. Actually, my parents had been very busy, or I didn't get to spend much time with them, and my grandmother raised me. So I was quite traditional in one sense. So when I got married, that traditional, I thought I want to be a good mother. I didn't get time with my parents, and then I was sent to boarding school. So I said, my first priority became wanting to be a good mom. But I would look at my friends and how they're managing and doing their thing, and the juggling thing. And I myself was juggling, and I was giving so much weight to my career, to my domestic life, and really, I was so driven before the marriage, and after the marriage somehow, it was like totally took the back seat. But I wouldn't say I lost many years doing that, because see, this product of those years of processing and watching my friends and watching myself and observing came up with these characters for. And as women, we all have this biological clock ticking, which is the one thing that sets us apart from men. There's a time frame within you have to make the most pertinent decisions of your life, and within that time frame, how fast you want to go with career or slow it down, changing gears. I call it changing gears. We have to really learn how to change gears, and when observing ourselves, observing the exterior, all these decisions women have to take. And through the lives of 4 very different women. One's an aspiring actress, Alia, who starts right from the slums, no family support, father no more, long time ago, mother not supportive of it, and how she rises up the ranks. And then I have a middle class South Indian Brahmin girl whose father is on her life, and she's not good looking according to contemporary standards. So the pressure of shadi, I mean 30 guys at barista, and all of them are rejecting her, and she's far more capable than them, and all this. And then 2 others also. Then I have Malini, who in childhood comes from a very privileged background, neglected as a child, so she has a lot of identity issues. It's like she doesn't know herself, so it's self-discovery. Her whole life is a journey of self-discovery. And then finally we have Aisha, who, this is a classic thing that happens. NRI men, very rich Indian NRIs, they're raised abroad, London, LA and all, and उनको बहुत छूट मिलती है, and अच्छा पॉकेट मनी मिलता है, बहुत एंजॉय करते हैं कॉलेज में, गर्लफ्रेंड्स, गोरी गर्लफ्रेंड्स, ये सब. हाँ, लेकिन जब शादी का टाइम आता है ना, गुजराती या पंजाबी जो भी होते हैं ना, बोलते नहीं, इंडिया जाके एक लड़की चुन लो. तो दिस इज माई 21-year-old gorgeous stunning girl, Aisha. NRI guy comes, his father said, "ठीक है, I'm giving you a choice. You go choose your own. I'm not forcing you." So then Aisha, who comes from a very normal background, but she's very beautiful party girl, and he sees her in a club and says, "I want to meet her friends, get them to meet." 2 हफ्ते में रोका शोका हो गया, and she's in Beverly Hills now. And her first birthday gift is a Mercedes Benz, the latest one, the newest ones in navigation. It's a time period. It covers their lives from when they're 17 to 40. That's the whole story.
All these characters, so are they inspired with some incidents, or inspired by someone whom you have met before?
Definitely. They're all inspired by people that I know, women that I know. The actress is a composite character. So and I'm not going to name one famous actress who's a friend of mine, and it is partially inspired by her. But I did research about 3 or 4 other actresses that really struggled to make it, and then created that composite character.
So while I was reading your book, it was giving me a feel like I'm going to some pastry parties, and also mainly whenever the Alia's character comes in picture, it gives you a feel, and it was very beautifully written. And I think the way you have seen those things, those parties you would have attended, so the way you have actually written them or given them words, you can visualize things. तो आप जब उस पेज को या उस चैप्टर को पढ़ते हो, आपको लगता है कि हाँ एक्चुअली आप उस पार्टी में हो, आप यहाँ ये ऐसा हो रहा है, वहाँ ड्रिंक चल रहा है. So you can get that feel out of it. But coming back to your book, you said that you wrote this book in 8 long years. So obviously in these 8 years, the condition of women, or women empowerment, all these things have changed a lot within these 8 long years.
Yeah.
So while writing a book, how you manage those changes? Because obviously अगर आपने 8 साल पहले कुछ women के बारे में सोचा होगा, that would have changed by now. The way women have started dealing with things have changed now. So how you manage those things?
The way they're dealing with things is different, but the core issues that they face are the same. The core issues are the same. Again, coming back to the biological clock thing, and also I have the women harassment in the workplace. Now I know it may sound cliche, oh, many people have written about it. No, but the thing is that the context in which I've written about it is different and how she handles it. But I had to cover this one aspect because it's just a very prominent aspect. So the things that women are facing are the same, but I would say women are getting bolder, which according to me is good. They're speaking their mind more and coming into their sovereignty more. They're less fearful, even in these 8-9 years, as I notice. But the message of the book, even though I may have been writing it over a number of years, is that being true to yourself. It's not. It's easier said than done to be true to yourself. Say, be true to yourself. You know,
it's not
एक
simple.
ही line है, be true to yourself. 4 words.
4
It's
words.
easier said than done.
Easier sentence, but the toughest thing to do.
Exactly.
So coming on another question on the same lines. So when we talk about saying that women empowerment hai, and आपने से बोला कि there are core values. So this also we can clearly bifurcate between the metros, the B grade cities, and if you go to villages. So what's your view on this, that why this differences and what can change this, what can make a change in this?
You mean in the customs and traditions?
Yes,
or?
the women empowerment, especially women empowerment. If you see a girl in a village, she must not be that much empowered, or that's the image what we have into her. So what do you feel? It's an image which is...
Okay, I've spoken a lot about the urban women right now,
Yes.
but let me tell you, I'll only speak about the rural women from what I've seen, because when my father was campaigning and I had just come back from college at that time in 99 to get Rai Bareli back, I spent 1 month there. And in 99, you can imagine how poor, now it's developed more. Then even many villages didn't have electricity and all. But what I'm saying about the women there, या तो there's 2 extremes. या तो एक extreme है जो पति पी के मारता है रात को, सारा काम उसको करना पड़ता है and all this stuff, पड़ा रहता है, she has to till the land, she has to do everything. Other is that कान से पकड़ के बोलते हैं उठ, एक मारोगी लाठी चापे पे बैठा है, उठ जा. And really those really powerful, they're so strong, they're the head of the family, they manage the man, they manage the children, they manage everything.
So that means जो image है हमारे दिमाग में कि गांव की लड़की है तो women empowerment नहीं है, that's not the case.
No,
It's not the
बिल्कुल भी
case.
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं. I have seen a lot of my foreign friends come here, women that work in textiles or garments and all, and they have to go to the rural or the small towns, and they are amazed at how strong the women are. And if you even see, I mean, just till a few years ago, now you see it less. Who were the ones when a building is being constructed and the bricks, carrying the bricks on their head? Mostly they're women. Have you seen? They're almost
Agree.
equal ratio.
Yes.
I mean, not only do they have to do all the emotional and psychological work of managing the family and all this stuff, the physical work also they're doing. Hardcore physical work.
But in the urban life, now things are getting a bit changed, I say. Maybe not on that percentage level, but I think men and women are sharing the work equally. Like, even if we talk about home, so we cannot say now that only a female is a homemaker, but even husbands are playing an equal role in making a home or raising up the kids or cooking and all those things.
Yeah.
Similarly, females are also working outside and they are helping in the financial conditions. So I think both of them have started playing an equal role, and I think that is the bigger role of a woman empowerment. It's not only that empowering the woman, but it's actually the change what society need in the mindset.
Yeah, in the last 10 years, definitely I'm seeing the emergence of women getting more independent with the support of the male.
Yeah.
And that's where I have 2 sons myself. And that's where the raising of the sons, I feel that the mothers that have raised their sons to believe in gender neutrality, That means that you have to respect the woman. She's equal to you. A lot of the girls are scoring even now higher than the boys in the schools and colleges, you know.
Not only now, I think much before as well.
For a long time. So now the mothers that are raising, mothers I feel are being like my generation, and certainly generations after me, this is going to happen. The younger ones, the moms, are going to empower they're going to raise the sons in a more sensitive way towards other women. I've seen that happening, and that's why men are beginning to, there's more equilibrium in the workspace. There's still more work to be done, but definitely the change is happening.
I think that's more changes need to be done in the mindset of a male as well.
Yeah, it's the raising. See, if a mom is, look, any mom can be insecure. I'm divorced. I was married to an actor. I live in Bombay, 80%. I go between Delhi and Bombay. I have 2 sons. I could also get bitter saying, oh, mera divorce ho gaya and men are like this and men are like this. You cannot generalize. There are all kinds of men out there, just like women. I just decide to raise my sons to be respectful to their classmates, to be team players with women, that you have to form teams and you have to work together. And if you have a girlfriend, you have to respect her. And if you don't like her anymore and she's crazy about you, then very gently let her go. You don't even want the bad karma of breaking too many hearts, you know.
I agree. So one more question on the same lines, because we're talking a lot of things about women empowerment. एक question जो दिमाग में हमेशा आता है. We all have maids working in our societies, in our home. आप हर जगह देखोगे there are maids who come to either cook, utensil cleaning of your house and everything. Those maids, if you think twice or maybe think in a little deep thing, they start working from morning 6 o'clock, then till afternoon they will be working, then again वो घर जाते हैं, फिर शाम को फिर आ जाते हैं आपके दोबारा काम करने के लिए. And we जनरली जो अर्बन्स में सोसाइटी में तो फिक्स है कि देयर इज 1 or 2 holidays in a month, whereas when we are working in corporate we have 2 days a weekly off. हम उनको महीने के 2 दिन छुट्टी देते हैं, एंड उसके अलावा भी अगर मान लो उसके बाद उन्होंने 5 दिन एक्स्ट्रा छुट्टी ले ली तो यू विल इमीडिएटली गो एंड चेंज द मेड. सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट सो मच अबाउट वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट, जो विलेज से लेके मिडिल बी टाउन से लेके मेट्रोज तक, देयर इज अ चेंज व्हाट वी कैन सी. But why there is no change in the thought process of improving the conditions or the working conditions of the maids who are working?
Exploitation तो है ही है.
And when you don't have
legal rights, when you don't have strong legal rights and implementation of those rights, you see even in the villages, rapes of little children are happening. Even if the person is put behind bars, within 2 months, 3 months max, they're out, most of them. It's not only the law is there, but implementation. And also our mindset also, I feel, because British Raj for so many years, 250 years, usse pehle Mughals were there, this subjugation attitude that they just accept it. They are accepting it because they don't see any way out of it. वो भी आंदोलन कर सकते हैं, वो भी यूनियन स्ट्रॉन्ग कर सकते हैं, वो भी बोल सकते हैं नहीं हम नहीं करेंगे, but it's difficult. उनको रोजी रोटी का सोचना पड़ता है ये वो. But subjugation mindset, I feel that really is there. Subjugation mindset. I mean, until like 10-12 years ago, if you're white and you're everyone is more respectful than they are with each other in India. If a white person, ऐसे होता था ना 10-15 साल पहले, if a white person walks in, you think they're superior in some way.
Even if you see, if you go to US or UK, you will not find maids. वहाँ घर के सारे काम खुद को ही करने हैं. जो यहाँ से जाते हैं कि हम लंदन जा रहे हैं, हम US जा रहे हैं, वहाँ जाके रहते हैं, सबसे ज़्यादा मिस वो यही करते हैं कि घर के सारे काम करने हैं. So when same people can manage all their work of home and every stuff, everything they can do it, going to other country, why they're expecting in India that there should be someone or some lady should come to home and do all your work, and that only for 1,000-2,000 bucks?
Because they can. So the standard is different there, standard different here. There is where they can't afford to get the maids there. It's too expensive because they have rights. Those people have rights. Even the ones most exploited there are immigrants that don't have migrants and immigrants that don't have paperwork, and it's illegal immigrants, so they get paid less. वहाँ पे भी एक system है, लेकिन what they get paid is still much more than our people get.
So that means the empowerment is still somewhere which is need to be improved in our country.
Huge, for sure.
Huge amount of.
Huge.
So in your complete story.
And also sex trafficking in our country.
Yes.
If you talk about the maids coming and we're exploiting them, what about exploiting lost children or people that are widowed or this and that, they can't feed their and this.
Because you are coming from a political family, one question which always strikes in my mind whenever I drive to Delhi.
Yeah.
In Delhi, mostly any of the red light, when your car stops at that point, traffic lights, you will find 2-3 kids will come with flowers in their hands or begging, and we generally give it or will not give it. And there are many politicians who are living in Delhi. Mostly politicians are living. Are they not seeing that such small kids are begging on roads?
This thing used to really.
And why they are not taking any action on it?
Desensitization. Because they've grown up, they're born in that and they've grown up in that, and their parents also used to stop at those stoplights, and even then the children used to come, and maybe the parents in front of their own children sitting in the car would be, "Chal hat yahan se, chale ja, kya hai, dusri gaadi."
And we all know that most of those kids are actually being trafficked.
They are trafficked, and some of them are 13-year-old girls with makeup on and all. If you've noticed, I really noticed very carefully, 13, 14-year-old makeup on and all, and they'll wink and things like that. Who knows what all happens there, And even my generation from childhood, you've been seeing the beggars and how the drivers respond to them, how the parents respond to them, all this. And it gets embedded. You become desensitized. It's like you don't even notice them anymore. A lot of people don't even notice. I have this in my book with Alia, the actress.
Yes.
She stops at the stoplight.
That's what actually came to my mind when I was actually just listening to you. So which character, you have 4-5 characters in your book, and each one is having different personality of it. So which one resembles you, or which one is your favorite out of them?
That's really mean. And people always
I'm
ask
going out
me
of
this question. I'm always asked this question, and it's really the last question I want to answer, and I can decline, but just for you I'll tell you, because it's very personal,
Yeah.
So Malini is the closest to me.
Okay. And why?
Coming from privileged background and having to do a lot. So even though we had servants and all, talking about servants, but parents were involved in their own thing, and the grandmother, who was very religious, I was sharing a room with her till I was 12, and then I went to boarding school after that. So it was like, even though I'm a half Indian, half Dutch, I was raised by a grandmother, so I'm very traditional in some ways. That's why my career thing took a backseat when I got married. And children, I became really hands-on and in wanting to give them a bath myself and everything myself, So
I feel that yes, the parents are very important for kids. And I have feel this more during COVID time, because my daughter was born in COVID, and because I was working from home, so I was constantly with her. And now when I have started going to my office, I feel that those 2 days I miss her a lot. Even she misses me a lot, because she has not seen me going out. So that touch, I think, obviously, maybe anyone else can come and be with you, but the touch what parents can give.
But since you asked a personal question, I am really glad that I did all that, because I never knew that my marriage is going to end up in divorce. You don't get married thinking that divorce hone wala hai. Nobody gets married thinking that.
Yes.
You try to make it work, everything, and then something happens. But because I gave so much hands-on time to my sons and raised them and put the values in them and was with them so much, that yes, the divorce was difficult on them, and but they're very close to me even now, though they're teenagers. They're very close to me, and it didn't affect my relationship with them too badly, or their closeness to me. We're very close and all, and I feel definitely a balance between career and work. Even if you can afford help, nannies and all, some degree of interaction with the children is very important, because I'm also seeing amongst the high society in Delhi, especially Bombay, I don't go out that much, I'm writing more and all, but I have definitely seen two nannies for two children. The children already 12 and 13 years old, and you have nannies, and these children don't have even a minute alone to themselves. They cannot even walk out in the garden without a nanny, and they're 13 years old. And if they're running, they're like, "Bache, bhagna nahi, gir jaoge."
Agreed.
And what connection is there? The children long for parental connection. They really do. And then they give them mobile phones, they give them whatever they want. Acha, go hang out with your friends, driver de dete, go hang out with your friends, go do this, go do that, pocket money, ye wo. Lekin time kam denge. Those kids later, those kind of kids end up getting into addictions more. Because that foundation and rooting is not there.
Agreed. So, although we are talking a lot about women empowerment, and that is what I have taken from your book, but maybe I would have been wrong. So, what's your mantra, that what you want to give out of this book to readers? Is it women empowerment, or chasing up your dreams, or something else?
I just say being true to yourself. Whatever your heart, you have to go with your emotions. Let's say if you're feeling wrong in some situation, and I have lots of wrong situations going on with these girls in the book, and if you're feeling something's wrong or something, intuition is very important. Heart and mind, you have to operate from both equally. If you operate more from heart, then you get blinded to certain things because you're going with your emotions. But you have to really see things objectively and have a balance between heart and mind, have a balance between work and home, striking the balance. This book, so it's women empowerment, but it's to everybody, even males, striking the balance. Not only work and home and heart and mind, male and female qualities within yourself. If a woman, society, for a woman to make it, she has to be like drive, because she has so many things as challenges. So that brings out the masculine qualities in her more. And then the femininity gets subdued a little bit. You can't blame her. It's societal, it's all kinds of things. But she has to be aware always of balancing the masculine and feminine qualities, heart and mind, work and home.
So, your four characters, obviously we are talking about story now more. So, they have their own dreams. The message is to be true to yourself. So I would like you to explain to the viewers that what each of your character is facing a challenge and what challenge they are actually chasing. Although I have read it, but I want to... If I
go into each of the characters, like I described all the four characters already, I won't go into each of the characters. They all have very difficult challenges. Aisha, the one who was from a middle class background, very beautiful, NRI guy marries her. Suddenly a party girl, the party people out there, suddenly you have all this money and you have great cars and great clothes and Gucci and Dior and everything. What are you going to do? You're going to party, right?
Yes.
So whole life spirals out of control, getting into coke and getting into really debauchery. And then you have Alia, who makes it, the actress who goes up from the slums and makes it. And she has a wonderful boyfriend all along. But during that journey, when she reaches where she wants, she's kind of embarrassed of him. And so she goes for a very high-flying debonair type. And then what happens, you only have to read and find out. And then Malini is on a self-discovery journey because she has a lot of hurt and pain and all this that she has to work through, and self-identity issues and things. So that's there. And then finally we have Reena. Reena is really the warrior. Reena is the real warrior in this. The father after her life about shadi, and she's working with the father also. So they have a little family run business. So you can't escape the father. Not at work and not at home and nothing. He's very loving, and I've not shown him as a villain father or anything. No. Usko to sirf, he wants, according to him, what he thinks will bring the daughter happiness is if she's settled. Settled is the word. You all know this word, settled, no? So that's what he wants. And she understands that, but how difficult it is when your parents are saying, isko bhi milo, acha wo, through the grapevine, through the family thing. And she's met how many? 30 guys. And she's, and to still be strong and still be focused on building yourself and your career, and not let your self-esteem go into the ground. That's the challenge. That's Reena.
So, coming back, so what's your long-term hope for this world, for our country, about women empowerment? How you see that world should be look like with a empowered woman?
Definitely.
What's your dream, I'll say?
Leadership positions, women have to be in every sphere of life, politically number one, in every sphere of life, in leadership positions. Women should come. And when they do this whole thing, like we talked about the traffic lights and the desensitization, that will improve on a massive scale, according to me. Generally because of the maternal instinct most women have. So definitely, the sensitization, and you see a lot of activists also, women and men. This is one area where it almost equals out, I think. You can do a research and see. But I know a lot of female activists in all kinds of spheres of life trying to make a change, I do feel the social evils that are there will much reduce. There'll be more balanced society and more empathetic society.
Okay.
Which we need. I mean, you even see the animals in the forests and how they're like, what the elephants that, it's in my book, Monkeys in My Garden, that elephant, they put the pineapple, they fed the pineapple full of explosives to the elephant in Kerala, and she was a pregnant elephant. And why? Because she was using the part of the river that they didn't want. And the men over there, the fishermen and everything. Now I think that, these kind of incidents and all, and the stoplight and the poverty, I just feel a more equal and balanced society where women are represented 50% equally, definitely going to bring positive change much faster.
I think true words. But just now, something's coming in my mind. You being an author, and we authors imagine a lot. So just imagine that this world is completely empowered, women empowered. We can think about, say, 2050, when world is completely empowered with women, and everywhere the leadership positions have been taken up by women. So how you imagine India, I'll say?
No, I would say generally in the world also, like the burning, the forests are burning, Amazon, and and a lot of things. I know it sounds negative, but see, that will decrease. Obviously, if the forest burning decreases, if our desensitization to poverty decreases, okay, just imagine it that way. Let's just say that there'll be less, according to me, and who says even in science women are excelling. Everywhere that they are permitted to come up, everywhere where doors are opening up, they are coming up. They generally in India have scored higher than males anyway. In every sphere of life, science and literature and everywhere, okay, literature they may be less represented, but also because of them facing how much time you have to take out to write. The men can still have more time if they're sitting at home. The wife will sometimes bring a cup of coffee while he's writing and all. But the traditional roles are still there, that the wife has to also look after other things, so you get less time to write. So those kind of challenges are there. But let's say that they manage to equal out all the challenges and there's equal representation, definitely the world will be a much happier place. Automatically it will be a more sensitized place. All the evils that are going on, or the forest and this and that, what I'm saying is the trafficking of people and all this, women more empowered positions in every sphere, all these things that are plaguing the world geographically and societally, and all this will reduce. So it'll be a much better place.
Definitely. And amen to these words. So in this complete book journey, as you have said that you took 8 years to write this book. So what more challenges you faced while getting this book published?
Oh, the publishing part was a tough one.
Yeah, toughest one.
I mean, it was accepted pretty soon by Rupa. Rupa was one of the first to accept it, and I didn't want to wait any longer since the book had taken me so long to write already. That I said, okay, pehla aa jaye to publish ho jaye, and Rupa is pretty good.
Yes.
So I did that, but then COVID came along and the printing presses suddenly, I get approval and the printing presses are shut down. So again, there's a massive delay.
So this was actually accepted during COVID time, right?
Yeah, and then there was a massive delay, and then finally it came out. As a first-time writer, mostly people face. You have to be very patient.
COVID has done this, because my book also, you are still the one that was I signed up a contract in 2021, I think, 20 or 20, just before COVID. And because all those printing press and everything shut down, then it released last 1.5 year back. It got released just when COVID was gone. So it has impacted a lot, just definitely. So coming back again on the book part. So obviously now the book is published, and just publishing a book is not enough. You know this, and yes, your book is having a lot of potential because I have read it, and I feel that it's more of an entertaining book, and it gives a message also to the readers. How you are planning to market it, because we know that unless we market something, it's not going to the shelves.
Yeah.
Even Close Up or Colgate, they still need to do ads, because although everyone buys them, but still they need to do ads to be in the market.
Absolutely.
So what's your plan to it? How you want to reach, or how you want to engage your readers?
How I want to engage. I'm aware that some of the biggest writers put lakhs upon lakhs into promoting their book when it releases, and that's just the name of the game, which I didn't realize earlier, and I'm realizing now more than ever. And I don't at this moment have that kind of surplus because I have kids, I'm single, all this to put money into promoting my book. But what I can do, and I am thinking of, is in Bombay pitching Unchain My Heart, since it's very entertaining, as you said.
Yes.
And it's got all the emotions and love and drama and tragedy and grief and transformation and all this through the lives of these four women, and it also reflects society. And if you see how and it's a coming of age story of these four women, so it traces their lives from when they're 17 to like 40. And have you noticed how I've shown the changing of time?
Yes.
It's with music.
Yes.
This track is playing, that track is playing in the car, that track is playing in the club, and then you say, oh, time is changing because of the new tracks. But that's why I want to pitch. Right now, I'm going to take it back when I go back to Bombay and start pitching it to be adapted to a web series. So and it should be made well and do justice to the book, and people will want to read the book, because as you know, the book is always better than the series.
Definitely. And see, you have worked with Star Plus as well.
Yeah.
So you having an experience of writing for shows, and now you've done books as well. So what's the difference you feel while writing a show or something, doing for the production house, and then working with the publishing industry and writing a book? Because we have someone who have worked in both the fields. So
yeah, Star Plus was a long time ago, and writing for TV series is very different than writing for web, which is OTT, like Jio and Netflix and Hotstar and all. It's a totally different type of writing. So yeah, that was a long time ago that I wrote, and it was a period mythology. It was I had come up with my own genre. Actually, something happened with that, but I love doing periods and historicals. I used to write archaeological articles also for newspapers right when I came back from college from America. But it's a totally different kind of writing for the soap operas and Star Plus and Z, all those kind of channels, as opposed to web series. So it's a big journey now. Web series, this is my first, so let's see how it goes with the web thing.
No, definitely.
But yeah, my way of writing has totally changed, and I know that it has, and I know what is required for web and what is required for that. I'm not interested in the TV series anymore now. I'm just going to go for the web
shows,
because you can get away with doing and saying a lot more, basically. Because if you want to really reveal this darker, shadowy parts of people's natures or situations and circumstances, there's certain censorship levels, time and censorship levels too. To be honest, I mean, you've seen Sacred Games. If you've seen Sacred Games, the second one, it's like pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
And especially if you want to write about really like dig your fingers into social, things that are happening in society behind the doors and all, you have to reveal the shadowy side also. And
OTTs are best for that.
Yeah.
But we have listened that some censorship is going to come for OTT as well. I'm not sure when and how.
Yeah, well, I feel that I think the censorship right now is fine. I don't think they should censor it more. That's my personal opinion.
So, last, I would like to ask you to tell your viewers tell my viewers, your readers, that why they should go and buy and read Unchain My Heart? What's something which is so much engaging for them that they must pick up this book? Although I can assure you all that you must pick up this book. I have read it personally and I enjoyed it a lot. Being not only that I keep on searching for theories, but it's an entertaining book, and it's very important that you should pick up such entertaining books, not only going to OTT or seeing reels and shorts, but you should pick up some entertaining books which can actually give you some enjoyment for a longer time.
Exactly, it's very entertaining, and most of the people that have read it responded and said they read it in 3 days. They couldn't put it down. So I feel happy about that. But I feel like, since we've talked so much about women empowerment, that every woman can identify with either one of these 4 characters. You're all in there if you're women. And men can learn, and I have an amazing transgender character we haven't spoken about called Jackie Funwala.
Yes.
Absolutely incredible. So, there's there are characters that everybody can identify with and gain something from and learn something from while being entertained. And you identify with them, you relate with them, they're like, hey, that's me, that's my life. That's why I made it for women, so that the whole spectrum is covered. So that's it.
So one last thing, which is a ritual of my show. Everyone who comes to my show does that. I'm not sure if you are aware about it or it's a surprise for you. But before we close our show, I ask all the authors or publishers and to my viewers, because we authors do lot of हम बहुत मेहनत करते हैं अपनी बुक्स को लिखने में, हम बहुत एफर्ट्स डालते हैं, उसका हम बहुत मार्केटिंग के लिए भी काम करते हैं, सेल्स के लिए भी काम करते हैं. तो मैं सोचता हूँ मेरे शो के थ्रू ना हम एक छोटा सा काम और करें, जस्ट टू शो आवर रीडर्स दैट हाउ मच वी लव यू and how much we love our books and we want to promote it and we ask you to read our books. तो हम एक छोटा सा बुक डांस करते हैं.
बुक डांस? No! No! अच्छा, क्या है बुक डांस? क्या करना है?
I'll show you. It's just a one-step dance, but that dance actually urges to the viewers, to the readers, to please go and read this book, because this book is so nice that we are dancing after reading it.
Okay, चलो ठीक है.
So we have to do a book dance with your book, Unchain My Heart. So readers, this is for you, viewers, readers. Unchain My Heart by Sharika Sharma. This book is fantastic and it's very entertaining. So आपको ज़रूर पढ़ना चाहिए. And see, now Sharika will be dancing with me on this book. So we'll be having a book dance. So not like this. I always do like this. I'm not
अच्छा, ये वाला.
So कुछ बोलते हैं.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
My kids used to do it. I don't know what it is, but they used to do this.
But you need to go to the bookstore. I think it's available in majorly all the bookstores and it's available online. So इस बुक को आप जरूर परचेज करिए. I personally recommend it. You will not regret after it. It's a very good book.
Enjoy.
And if you have a girlfriend and or a wife, definitely go and gift her this book. She will enjoy this a lot. So Sharika, thank you. Thanks for coming on this show and enlightening us with so much knowledge about women empowerment. And thanks for writing such a beautiful book. And again, everyone, please go and buy this book.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming to this show. Thank you.
Thank you.